This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello and welcome to Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio. Thank you for joining us today. We're your hosts. My name is Marcy Davis, and my co-host is my amazing service dog, Fenway. And we're excited to be with you to talk about our favorite subject, working dogs and working animals. And today we are welcoming Kyle Kittleson to the show.
Hello.
And Kyle is the amazing on-camera host of MedCircle, which he's going to talk to us about today. And he's also the creator of A Baba Blast, which is a really cool kids series that we want to hear all about. And he has some amazing experiences with animals as a former marine mammal trainer, and I want to hear all about his amazing macaw Spire. So come right back after these quick messages as we welcome Kyle Kittleson to the show.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms, and our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio. Hello, Kyle, and welcome.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Marcy.
Yeah, we're so excited that you can be with us today. You've got so many things going on that we want to hear about. And first of all, Kyle, tell us about, you're the host of MedCircle. What is MedCircle?
Well, MedCircle is a community-based mental health platform. So people join it to interact and meet other people who are maybe going through some other or some similar mental health journeys. And it's really backed by our incredible library of video content where I interview the best psychologists and psychiatrists in the world on a variety of topics. And on top of that, we have workshops where our members can chat with our doctors and get their personal insight. And we have courses and we have more stuff down the pipeline. And so we've really just created an all-in-one mental health platform, whether you're in therapy or not. It's a great supportive environment to be in and a great place to learn about psychology and mental health.
Oh, that's wonderful and so necessary today. Yes, yes. Well, it's wonderful that you make it so accessible and that it's so comprehensive.
Yeah, it's when I started at MedCircle, I didn't know anything about mental health. And this is someone who had been in therapy since they were 9 years old. I remember my first interview, I was like, wait, I didn't know any of this. They go, how do you not know this? You've been in therapy since you were 9 and you're like 30. I'm like, I don't know. My therapist wasn't telling me anything. And so it really opened my eyes to go, oh my goodness. Like,
Yeah,
if you're not getting educated on mental health, you're not getting educated on your life.
that's
And
right.
when you
That's
start to
right.
look at your relationships with your coworkers, your romantic relationships, how you're raising your kids, why some days you can't get out of bed and other days you feel like you can conquer the world, all of that are clues to us. It's clues to ourselves. And when you start to unpack that, it can be daunting in the beginning, certainly, but when you start to unpack, then it feels really good. And then you start to see the benefits and you kind of get, for lack of a better term, addicted to the improvement,
I was going to say, well, I'm sure it's so like your eye-opening experience. And then you realize how important it is and how much you need it in your life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, not to dive into the topic of trauma right off the bat here, but
Right?
so many people, I was just telling a story last night at dinner to I think it was my aunt or somebody, and it was a friend from college, and he goes, I've been watching your MedCircle videos for years. And then I went into therapy and I was bringing MedCircle into my therapy room and with my therapist. And the therapist said, you have some trauma in your life that you need to deal with if you want to get over this. And my friend says, I don't have any trauma. And the therapist said, your mom died in a plane crash when you were 5. That's traumatic. And he goes, yeah, I guess that is traumatic. And it just, for us listening, we go, how did he not know that? But there's so many of us, probably us listening, who have these events in our life that we've totally disregarded. And we don't realize we're holding on to it, So to help people uncover their true selves is so fun. Like it's just a
I love
beautiful,
it, Kyle.
beautiful thing. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever met anybody that hadn't experienced trauma.
Yeah,
I
if you're
think
alive, you have
that's
trauma.
right.
Yeah.
If you're breathing and moving through the world, you're going to experience trauma. Yes. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that wonderful resource to us.
Oh,
But
yeah.
But tell us, so you began as a professional animal trainer and then you shifted into mental health education. How did you do that, Kyle? What brought you to that?
Yeah, I say that animals prepared me for the people because I did not start off in mental health at all. I started off with animals and I got a degree in real estate, a bachelor's of science in real estate, and then moved to Hawaii and did an unpaid internship with animals. And obviously didn't use my degree at all, which my family was very happy about. Sarcasm. And I just fell in love with it. Some people are born to play the piano and some people are born to be parents or whatever. I was born to be with animals. Like I just was born that way, specifically animals. And so I followed that passion into the field and I became a marine mammal trainer for many, many years. And I worked with probably a dozen species of animals, not just marine animals. And it was just such a wonderful part of my life. And then, newsflash and spoiler alert, you don't make any money when you're an animal trainer. You work weekends and nights and holidays, and you're dirty all the time. And you're exhausted all the time. And my back hurt all of the time. And I was like, I gotta go do something else. So I left the industry and I tried to go become, the next Jeff Corwin, Steve Irwin, Jack Hanna. I wanted to be like the next animal host. And while I was doing all this hosting, mostly with animals, MedCircle got a hold of me and said, let's do some interviews. And I interviewed a clinical psychologist named Dr. Ramani on the topic of narcissism, psychopathy, and sociopathy. And that video we posted on the YouTube channel for MedCircle, and it got 15 million views. And my soon-to-be boss said, why don't you just come work for us full time and keep interviewing these doctors? I said, okay. And that was 7 years ago, and here we are. So, but what's interesting is, your listeners are animal people, okay?
Yep,
They're
we
animal
are.
people. And so I feel like animal people are already one step ahead in the mental health game because you naturally have empathy, which is I'd probably say empathy number one, okay? You naturally have empathy because you're an animal lover. There is nobody listening who says, I haven't learned from my animals. They've all learned from the animals. And the things we learn from our animals are, I could almost say, always tied into our own mental health or psychology. And so I think that people who have connections with animals are more primed for better mental health. And is that too much to say?
I couldn't agree with you more, Kyle. I could not agree more because even though Fenway, his job, he's trained as a service dog to do mobility things for me because I use a wheelchair, but the mental health support that he gives me that is not in his job description and that all my service dogs have given me all these years, it's incredible. That's the unspoken true gift and job and hat that they wear. Absolutely.
Yeah. And, I heard in your intro, you're talking about working animals. And when you said that in my head, I thought, yeah, that's all animals though.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
all
It
animals
is.
are working animals.
It's
And
true.
And when we get to work with them and teach them and then learn from them.
Best gift ever.
Oh my gosh.
It is.
Please.
It's as close to magic as I will ever come.
That is literally, Marcy, that is literally what I say when we're training animals. I go, we're talking to animals, you guys. This is magic.
Yes,
That's literally what I say.
yes.
Yeah.
I know. That's how I feel when I talk to Fenway every day. And that he's with me right now. It's like, it's incredible. It is. It is like, Yeah, magic in a bottle. I mean, it's just incredible. Well, and the other thing I love that you do is Baba Blast. Tell us about
Yes.
that.
Baba Blast is such a passion project. I started it with my nephew because at the time he was 3 and he was watching the garbage on YouTube. I mean, I can't even go into how garbage it was. I even told his mom, I was like, what are we doing with this? Like, come on. And, we had so much success with the MedCircle YouTube channel. And my nephew, even at 3, thought that was so cool that Uncle Kai Kai was like on YouTube with all these views and blah, blah. And so I go, why don't we do one ourselves? So we started making YouTube videos ourselves. And then just naturally, my nephew wanted to stop being on camera, which I love. Now I have a no kids policy. I don't put any kids on camera. I don't use pictures of kids. I don't use videos of kids. My personal opinion is kids shouldn't be on camera. That's just my opinion. And everyone can do whatever they want, and I'm doing whatever I want. And luckily, his name is Stone. He's now developed this like passion for behind the camera. He wants to direct, and
I was
he
gonna
wants to
say
set
he's
up
your
the scene.
director.
Yeah, and he works
Yes.
with our videographer, and he loves it.
Oh,
So it really started as that,
perfect.
but then we had, last month we had 20 million people watch our channel in English and Spanish, and
Incredible.
it's just been so great. And the core concept, I'm not teaching numbers, I'm not teaching how to say moo moo, I'm not teaching colors. I am teaching empathy and resilience to preschoolers. And
Beautiful.
to do that, we do a lot of modeling. We do a lot of, repetition. We have catchphrases in the show that act as mantras for these kids when they're struggling with something. And struggling can be, Johnny doesn't want to be my friend, or I can't, put on my shoes yet. Whatever that struggle is for that 4-year-old. And we're teaching them that they can do it. We're teaching them that it's okay to ask for help. And we're teaching them to start to visualize putting themselves in other people's shoes. And that creates empathy. And all of the psychologists and psychiatrists and parenting experts I've talked to over nearly a decade at MedCircle, when I ask them, what do we need to teach our kids? Like, just boil it down for me. It's always empathy and resilience. Empathy and resilience. That's all I hear, empathy and resilience. And when I speak to parents, no, I never speak to a parent who goes, I'm just really worried that they're not going to learn all the colors, or I'm really worried that they're not going to learn the shapes. They're not worried about that. They're worried about, is their kid going to be able to navigate the world that is changing at a rapid pace and also be somebody that is kind and empathic to people. And I'm not saying Baba Blast is the sole solution for it, but we certainly play a role in a holistic attack on solving this issue. And so I take it really seriously, even though it's filled with, magic and dinosaurs.
Yes, I love the dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Yes,
very
lots of
dinosaur
fun.
heavy.
Yes,
Yeah, so it's so fun.
yes.
It's like my favorite, like, little hobby. Some people play golf. I make kids videos.
I love it. I love it. Well, I have to ask you, what has surprised you most about translating all this expert knowledge that really wasn't in your wheelhouse at the time? How to do that for such a broad audience that you have?
Well, I think what surprised me most is in the beginning of my MedCircle days, I really underestimated the viewer. I thought they were, for lack of a better term, I thought people were dumber than they actually are. Okay. And that might sound a little vicious, but I'm just being honest. And I realized very quickly, luckily, that people are very smart and in tune and on top of it. At least the people who are coming to MedCircle to listen and watch and learn. These are people who are in the game and they want to
Yeah, I was
do
going to
it.
say, yeah.
And so I was able to, up our conversations pretty quickly to meet them where they were at. And so I think that was surprising to me because I just had this concept that everybody was like totally lost, had no clue, and just needed help. And people are lost, but people do have a clue and they do want help, but you don't have to, I don't have to, I don't have to speak to them like they're watching Baba Blast. I can speak to them like they're adults. And so it's, I think that was surprising. And what maybe wasn't surprising, but something that was certainly reinforced for me is the answer to almost everything is love and connection. And people's biggest pain points in their life tend to be their relationships. It's not money. It's not medical. It's not environment, although Certainly, all of those things play huge, huge roles. But when it boils down to emails I get, my husband, my kid, my wife, my boss, my coworker, my boy, it's the relationships in our life. And so when we can boil that down, if relationships really are like the big difference maker, then we got to learn how to attract good relationships, build good relationships, and keep bad relationships away. And I think that starts with an education on attachment theory, inner child work, and there are 10 diagnosed personality disorders, and having a background on those would be very helpful as well. I joke now that I'm narcissist resistant. Like nobody, like I'm not going to end up with a narcissist. Okay. I see them coming a mile away. And don't get me wrong.
Yep.
I love a narcissist. Go to a cocktail party, give me a narcissist. They're funny, they're outrageous, they're entertaining. I keep them around, but I'm not going to cohabitate with one.
That's right. You don't want to marry one.
I'm not going to marry one. Yeah.
Yes.
And most people become narcissist informed after they just spent 6 years with some narcissist. You know?
That's so
So
true.
I think,
Yes.
getting that, being preventative in your mental health education is the real goal. If you're in that, if you're like, man, my life's pretty good, I got good relationships, I'm like, perfect. This is the perfect time to learn about.
Yes. Setting boundaries. Yes. Setting and maintaining those boundaries. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, and boundaries are thrown around so much. And what I always say with boundaries is don't think boundaries is a way to keep people out of your life. Boundaries is the opposite of that. Boundaries is a way to keep people in your life.
That's right. But in a healthy way. Yes.
Yeah, in a way that's sustainable. We
Yes,
all have a
exactly.
mother-in-law who
Right?
is gonna be there on Thanksgiving, and we have to learn to deal with it. So yeah, I'm very
Yeah.
pro boundary, but most people think that they know what boundaries are because it seems like a simple concept. But the first thing we do when someone joins MedCircle is I give them a doing the work book. It's a digital workbook, and it has 9 pillars of mental health and psychology in there. And one pillar is completely dedicated to boundaries. Because I'm like, I just go, you don't know what you don't know. Please, 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 please understand boundaries because it'll change your life. Yeah.
Yes. I love it. Well, we're going to take just a quick break and hear some important messages from our sponsors. And we're going to come back and keep visiting with Kyle Kittleson. And when we come back, we want to hear about Spire.
Yay!
So come right back.
We wear fur, and we're damn proud of it.
What?
And our 4 legs.
And our tail. And we go to the bathroom outside.
Well, we may not be too proud of that. Sniff around, then mark your spot right here. Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets. Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio. We're visiting today with Kyle Kittleson and talking all about his really cool endeavors, online education about MedCircle and Baba Blast. But I saw a photo of you that I love because it had Spire in it. Tell us about Spire and your relationship with her.
The love of my life. Spire is a hyacinth macaw. When I was 13, my best friend invited me to his house, and they had a Moluccan cockatoo. And I met that bird, and my whole world changed. I mean, I remember the feeling of my body shifting because I thought I didn't know that these animals were real. Like I didn't know that they existed on this planet that we're on. And I mean, I became obsessed, and that obsession never left. It only got worse or better depending on how you look at it. I mean, so much so that I went and worked with parrots professionally. When I was an animal trainer, I worked with many, many different types of parrots. And my dream always was to have a hyacinth macaw, always, for so many reasons. They're just the best. And I would never do it until I was ready. And ready meaning I'm not going to be moving. I've got space in my house. I own my house. I have money for this bird. And they take a lot of money. And, I prepped for it from 13 to 38. I prepped for this bird. And then I finally got her when I was 38, and she's just the highlight of my life. I mean, I'm addicted to her. I'm obsessed with her. Like, I put her away in her room, and then I get out my phone and look at pictures of her. It's just like sick. It's sick. I see birds on TV, and then I'm like, God, that's so amazing. And then I think, oh
Oh,
my gosh, I have one of those. It's just like, and she goes everywhere with me. She does everything with me. She's on MedCircle videos. She's in Baba Blast episodes. She goes
love
out to
it.
lunch with me. She rides in the golf cart with me.
I love
She's
it.
free flown, so she flies every day. It's just awesome.
Oh, wow. And how old is she?
She's 2.
Oh, she's still a baby girl.
Yeah, so she'll,
Mm.
that depending on who you talk to, but around 2, they're fully grown, but around 6, 7, they're fully mature. And so we've got, a few more years here to see how her personality develops. And I'm sure many of your listeners are bird people too. And I will say that birds make terrible pets. They are not domesticated animals. They are loud and expensive. They are incredibly messy. They're destructive and they can fly. So they're
Yeah.
they're just terrible, terrible pets. I never suggest anyone go get a bird.
And they live a long time.
And they
So,
live 60 to 80 years. The first thing I did
right.
is set up legal work so that if I
Yes.
die, there is a
Yes.
plan in place. And
That's
y'all,
what
the
I
plan isn't
did.
just like,
Yes.
yeah, exactly, because I'm doing this instead of having kids.
That's exactly what my husband and I have done.
Yeah.
Yes. And we put money aside. That's what the life
Yes.
insurance is for.
I
Yes.
know. Oh my gosh. I have a whole binder with, I mean, I can't
So
even
do
go into it. It's
I.
great. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm in the process of doing it again right now because I just got 2 miniature horses.
Oh
And
my
yes, I'm
God.
so in love with them, Kyle, like you are with Spire. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
but
have
it's
like a
true.
menagerie going.
I do. I do.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
I'm good
incredible.
with the one. My dog died this year. Of course, it was like the worst thing ever.
Yes.
Really, I really had to pull on everything I've learned about grief working at MedCircle and how to process that because it was just so terrible. But, now just having the one pet, I'm like, I don't even know how I did it with 2 before. Because it's just
Right,
so much
because you're
harder with
just so
one.
yeah, yes, yes. Well, I know Fenway likes to pretend that he's the only one.
In his reality, maybe that's true.
Exactly. In his world, yes, that's what he believes, and that everybody else are just foster. Yeah, and that he's the one and only. Yes.
Premium,
He
primo.
has no self-esteem issues whatsoever.
See, isn't
None.
that so
Yeah.
good? That's not so good.
Yes,
And I
yes.
just want to remind people that the average parrot, okay, is rehomed 9 times. And so
Really?
in their life, rehomed 9 times. And that's for a lot of reasons. Age is one of them, but
Mhm.
most of it is because people see something beautiful and pretty and it talks
Yeah,
and they think
yeah.
they can handle it and then they can't.
Right, because
And
it's work.
yeah,
Yes.
and you think dogs are work, you think parrots are way more work, I promise. They're way more work than you're ready
Mhm.
for. That's why they're rehomed 9 times. So I just tell people, like, don't get obsessed with them. Go volunteer at your local rescue. Have a great time with birds, but don't get one because the likelihood of you successfully caring for this bird is very low. It is low. And
Yeah, yeah.
not to like bash bird owners because I'm one of them, but if I had to guess, I would say maybe around 10% of bird owners, and there's 12 million, I think, pet parrots in America. I'd
Mm,
say 10% of them do it right. That means
only
90%.
10%.
Yeah. I think
Mm,
90% are missing the
mm,
mark. They're
mhm.
missing the mark. Yeah. And they're well intended and they mean well
Of
and they're doing
course.
the best they can, but you're missing the mark for this animal. This animal
Yeah.
is highly intelligent. It requires you can't just take them for a walk and bring them home and give them a Kong with peanut butter and call it a day. You're dealing with this perpetual 4-year-old forever, Yeah.
And that's what I tell people about service dogs because
Yeah.
they think, "Oh, it looks so wonderful. I'm gonna get this little robot." No, it
A
is not a
robot, that's
robot.
exactly what they think.
Yeah, that is.
Exactly.
That is. And I'm like, "No, no, no, no. You are getting a living, breathing, demanding little
Yeah.
little thing that is just as dependent on you as you are going to be dependent on that
Yes.
animal."
Yeah.
Yes, and it takes money, it takes time, it takes all kinds of things just like you're describing.
Doesn't it
Yes.
though?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
does.
if someone asked me, they go, "So you prepped for this forever. What did you get wrong?" And I say, "You know what I got wrong? I did not realize how much money." And I budgeted so much. I'm not even gonna tell you how much I had in this checking account to do this to the bird. I could have bought a house. Honestly, I
Yeah,
could have
yeah,
put
I
a
hear
down
you.
payment on a freaking house.
Mhm.
And it still costs more money because she just constantly needs stuff.
I know. Well, that's it with Fenway. He gets groomed every 3 weeks.
Ugh.
Not only does he get groomed, he gets his nails done, he gets
Yeah.
his ears done, he gets his teeth done. Yes, it's
Yeah.
like
Now, do you have pet insurance for your animals?
That's a great question, and I've looked into it in the past,
Yeah.
but I've never found one that was a good fit.
In my experience, because I ran dog training companies for years, and I constantly was getting asked about this, and I never found one for dogs, or I'll say domesticated pets. But there's only one option in the U.S. for bird insurance, and it's through Nationwide, and it's fantastic.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
Fantastic, yeah.
I wonder, well, I'll have to check into Nationwide. I haven't looked at it in a few years now, but I have on and off throughout the years, and I've never found anything. And one of my sweet dogs that did not make it as a service dog, and I had the honor of adopting him.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
By the way, I the reason I'm smirking right now is I always think it's so like cute, and I don't know. My heart gets warmed when a dog doesn't graduate.
I know I know. Well, that's what
Because I'm
he's
just
a-
like, they couldn't really get
I
it on
know,
the way.
but
It just
and
like
he
warms my
thinks
heart.
he totally believes he's my service dog, and I gotta tell you, he gets to me first. Because
Okay.
I have Lovey, who's retired. I
Yep.
have Fenway, who is my current service dog, who is thinks he's just the prettiest thing in the world and doesn't want to get dirty. But then I have Humphrey, who is the one that didn't make it. And he really believes, and he acts like it, but he cannot go out in public because he barks.
Oh, really?
Yes, he does. He does. But he had allergies, really bad allergies. And that's what kept him from becoming a service dog, because he's had, talk about a money pit. He's had so many medical issues. And in fact, we're going through cancer right now with him.
Oh my goodness.
But he's so good. He's such a
Yeah.
little trooper. And like I said, he keeps working, even though he's
Ugh.
going through chemo.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yes,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
They're all amazing. It's just I know why people want them. They are so incredible. All animals that have these kinds of training and interaction and abilities. It's just oh yeah. It is addicting and intoxicating just to be in
Yeah.
their presence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I worked with exotic animals for many, many years. And then when I got Spire, I had been out of the industry for so long, and I'm like, God, do I really even know what I'm doing still? Like, is this going to come back to me? And I had never worked with young parrots like Spire. And so I hired this bird trainer who, I think he's the best bird trainer probably in the world. And I work with him for 3 hours every week. And he has opened my brain up to actually how magnificent these animals are. And that's
Yeah.
after working with them professionally for years and years and years. And then he's showing me research and studies and videos and like proof of all of these amazing things. And you're just going, oh my gosh, this is even more. They're even more.
Yes, you just fall for deeper and deeper in love. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because
And in awe.
we don't get it.
Yes.
We
No, we
really
don't.
don't get it. I worked with killer whales, which I know is a very controversial subject. But when you look at the intelligence of a killer whale
Mhm.
versus a dog or a bird or a dolphin or a sea lion or even like a penguin, which I don't even know how penguins are alive. I just think they're so dumb, and they're amazing. And my first
But they're
love
so cute.
was a
Yes,
penguin named
yes.
Willie, and
Yeah.
they can be trained, but just all the animals, they're not that intelligent to me. But you look at a whale and you think that whale is like me. It's
Yeah,
like
that's
when
right.
we're talking,
Yes.
when we're looking at each other, when we're talking, when we're interacting, when we have the back and forth, I'm like, oh my goodness,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is anyone who doesn't believe an animal has a soul
Oh, I
just
know
has to
it.
go look in the eyes of a whale, and it will
Yes.
change you immediately. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. Well, you mentioned one thing, and I know that you're so busy and our time is limited, but I do want to ask you, because you did talk about the grief of when you lost your dog. And that's something that our listeners, I get so many questions about that from listeners about when they've lost their working dog. So what supports for grief would you suggest, Kyle, or what have you come across that was helpful for you?
Well, MedCircle does these incredible courses that are step by step. They're roadmaps through whatever the topic is. So it could be addiction or divorce or whatever. And we have one on bereavement and grief. And ironically, we had just wrapped filming that after or right before my dog died. So I had a lot of new stuff on my mind that I could apply. However, what I always go back to, and so if people really want to deep dive in grief, they should go take the MedCircle bereavement course because that will tell you everything you'd ever wanted to know about grief. But what I always go back to is somatic experiencing. And it was taught to me by a triple board certified forensic and neuropsychologist named Dr. Judy. You may have seen her in Netflix documentaries and on TV. She's everywhere. And she taught me about somatic experiencing. And this will be perfect for your audience because the way she described it was using an example of an animal. And in the wild, animals really don't develop PTSD. They don't suffer from the trauma that they experience. And they experience a lot of trauma. A bunny rabbit can be sitting, eating grass, minding its own business, and then it gets chased by a coyote. And it runs for its life, has to escape. Imagine if we had to go through that. If we were eating lunch and then someone with a gun came and we had to run, okay? That's what the rabbit goes through. And after the rabbit evades capture, it goes back to eating grass. And scientists were looking at that and go, how does the rabbit go through this traumatic event and then just go back to eating grass? Nothing ever happened. And what they notice is that after the traumatic event, rabbits and many, many other animals will have a physical expression. So they will shake their bodies or shake their head or stretch their legs. We'll often see dogs, get out of a crate and they'll shake. And some people would say, yeah, it's because they've been stuck in that crate all day. Okay, maybe. But maybe they're just shaking out that little bit of trauma is what I'll call it. So it doesn't stay in the body. And animals have learned this. If you have not read The Body Keeps the Score, it's a great book about trauma for humans.
It is. I have read it. Yes.
Yeah, fabulous book. And if the body really does store trauma that way, then we've got to get it out as soon as possible. We don't do that as people. When your dog dies, you're at the vet and you have to deal with the vet and then you have to pay your bill and then you've got to go home and you've got to get the dog bed out and throw the crate away and you have to do all these things and then it's dinner time and the kids came home and then you got to explain to the kids what happened to the dog and you're just constantly on. You're constantly not dealing with the trauma and pushing through it. And what that does is that means all that trauma you experience just stays right in your body. And so when my dog died and I felt so emotional and sad and angry and disgusted and nauseous, I didn't try to calm myself down. I let it rip. I screamed, I yelled, I punched the pillow. I cried so hard I threw up. I got it all out as much as I could, as close to the traumatic event as possible. And we don't always have that luxury.
Yeah.
But if we do, we need to express it. And that might be you bawling your eyes out for 2 days, okay? And that might be you screaming and yelling in the shower and saying this isn't fair and collapsing to the ground. Do it. Have the reaction. Have the physical reaction to that. And if we do that, we can move through the trauma and actually get it out of our body rather than move through the trauma because we've stuffed it down into our body. And I believe I have Crohn's disease, a chronic illness. And I believe, and I'm also a gay man, and I believe that when I was young and living a straight life, hiding my sexuality, ashamed of it, pushing it down, doing all those things, it certainly didn't help my Crohn's, and perhaps it even caused some of the issues I had because you're not getting it out.
Yeah.
And so when you're grieving, go grieve hard. Go grieve as hard as you can. And I think just doing that is going to get you 2, 3, 4 weeks later, maybe 2, 3, 4 months later, whenever it is, there's no timeline. But when you get to that space, you're actually going to have the trauma out rather than it's stuffed away in a little box. Because when it's stuffed away in the little box, it's still impacting you.
Yeah. And you're carrying it. I so appreciate you saying that, Kyle, because that's what I do. Sounds come out of me that do not sound human. When I've lost my service dogs, it's been the worst moments of my life. Way worse than having a disability.
But my mom died when I was 16, okay? And I cried harder when my dog died this year than when my mom died when I was 16. And I'll be very clear, my mom dying was way worse, okay?
Yeah.
But my reaction as an adult with this relationship I had was bigger. And
That's
so
right. Yeah.
there's something there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how I was as well. Yeah. And yeah. It was like somebody ripped my heart out and showed it to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Every time. Yes.
The other quick tidbit, if there's time for trauma, and I'll do it real fast, is
Okay.
even if you don't feel like having community and people and support, you need it. So
Absolutely.
do what you can to
Yes.
be surrounded by the support. Nobody heals from
Yes.
trauma in a room by themselves. And so find that support and community. And if you do that with the somatic experiencing, you're well on your way.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Kyle. Thank you for saying that and for sharing that with us.
Oh, yeah.
And before you go, tell our listeners, where can they follow your work and catch your latest interviews?
Well, YouTube is a great place to watch MedCircle just to get you familiar with the platform. You can go to medcircle.com if you're really ready to take the deep dive into your own mental well-being. I'm on all social media, but I hate it, so don't go on there and
Right.
message me there. But my email address is kyle@medcircle.com, so you can email me
Cool.
anytime if you want to connect directly.
Cool. And we will put that on our site so
Awesome.
that our listeners can reach you.
Yay.
Kyle, thank you for being with us, for the work
Thank
you're
you.
doing.
You are an exceptional interviewer. Let
Oh,
me just tell you that while we're recording. You
you're
are
too
fantastic.
sweet. You're too
Fantastic.
sweet. Well, you got to give Spire a big old kiss for me.
Oh, I will. I will.
And Fenway. Yes,
Yes.
Fenway loves birds. Yes.
Yes.
So
Okay. Very good,
please,
Fenway.
please, please, and come back and visit with us, Kyle. We want to hear about what you're doing at Baba Blast and all your wonderful, wonderful things. It's great. It's great.
Thank you, Marcy. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to share some exciting news. I've been working on a brand new children's book called Humphrey, the Hopeful Helper. It's a heartwarming story of a little yellow lab puppy with big paws and an even bigger dream to become a service dog. And this beautifully illustrated book is coming soon, and I can't wait to share Humphrey's adventures with you and your family. So be sure to join our mailing list at workinglikedogs.com so you'll be the first to know when Humphrey the Hopeful Helper is released. I promise you don't want to miss this one. And thank you, our listeners, for being with us. We love it for you to join us. And we'd also love to hear from you. So please keep your emails coming. Let's stay connected. And you can reach me and Fenway at Marcie, MARCIE, at PetLifeRadio.com. So thanks so much for being with us and take good care.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.